Boom, boom.
AA.
We are the Backyard Therapy. We back in the yard once again. It's your boy Francois.
St. Dior.
Yeah, let's knock it down.
So yeah, it seems like we've been witnessing some missile launches, man.
Yeah.
I know in one of our past episodes we talked about Chinese rockets. Now we got the Iranian rockets.
Right.
So it seems a day or two ago, depending on when you guys listen, Iran decided to retaliate. You know, the U.S. got involved in the war between Israel and what's going on in the Middle East, and they decided to attempt to attack some military bases in Qatar, as the people on CNN call it, Qatar.
Yeah.
A lot of those were intercepted. Did you see that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so that's something that I noticed with the wars that's going on now as opposed to wars in the past. We're going to be witnessing a lot of rockets that they're landing and they're definitely destroying people, destroying people's homes, uprooting everything. But a lot of technology has advanced so far to where we're they're deflecting and disarming missiles mid-air.
Yeah.
So really the war is being fought in the background as well. It's a lot of political, I don't even use that word. There's a lot of political posturing and, economic stuff going on. But with that being done, I know that the U.S. decided that they was like, yeah, we're going to bomb 3 of Iran's main nuclear bases.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's all of them. If that's all they have, I'd be surprised if that is. I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. And within that time, there was a lot of talk going on, locally, online about, it's time to go to war. The memes are coming out on Twitter, the draft memes and all that stuff. And people were genuinely afraid.
Yeah. Afraid as they should be, because war, jokey thing. Most of us who are alive now have really never experienced any type of world war or anything, obviously. So yeah, it's easy to meme it up and make jokes and thing, but when the missiles start flying for real, when the troops hit the floor, it won't be as memey.
No.
It's the jokes are there. They won't be there. A lot of people around us will be drafted. We're in the Bahamas. I mean,
our family members who may be, who may be American, who may be off or what have you.
Right.
Yeah. There are some Bahamians in the military. So.
Yeah. A lot of our loved ones are gonna be straight over there if this happens. So, yeah, and it's just gonna be straight devastation.
Did you see this something like this happening this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I always try to anticipate the worst, and it's not a good thing to say, but that's just when you anticipate the worst from people, nothing really disappoints you.
That's a good saying, man.
Yeah, so I try to keep that mindset. I expect the worst. I always anticipate waking up tomorrow and just like, the sirens are going off, time to go. Yeah, and I'm not saying that I hope it happens, but it's just something I use to protect my own sanity.
Trust me, I used to have that type of feeling a whole lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like you're just waking up to some apocalypse, some destroyed land or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
And what's interesting, I'm glad you brought that up. I feel like this year has been a lot of fear-mongering, Even not even just this year, it's, even a bit of last year. There's been a lot of build-up like, Israel, Iran, the Middle East, that's been a thing. So I was wondering when it was eventually going to come to sort of a head.
Well, I think the Trump and the U.S. kind of has a part to play in that too, because a lot of the time when Trump is, he's still in power, but he really, the U.S. they do a great job at flexing their muscles. They're like, hey, bro, we spend hundreds of billions on military, anybody can come through. Y'all want to pull up, do it. We are itching. We ready to go and plunder and deploy and do all of that.
Itching for war.
At least that they may not be saying that, but that's the impression that I get just from a man in another country just observing. I understand why the mindset of people on the internet are time for war.
And that's a good point. And another thing is, this is kind of like the closest a lot of people have been to a war, you know, especially the ones that are online. Like we were there when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
We were kind of young at that time, so it's like I feel like there's a lot of people that itching for war for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So another thing that happened, I guess today, recently, is it seems that there's been a ceasefire, man. I feel it seems like, well, how it's being reported is like Trump dropped his dick on the table. Is like, wait, y'all look, I can Merkel two of y'all, man. Y'all play nice, eh? That's what it seems like, but I'm curious and interested to see how it continues to play out.
Yeah, I have seen that as well. It seems as though there are a few media outlets reporting that, in 12 to 16 to 24 hours, like both sides are gonna disarm their weapons and go back to their respective corners peacefully. Which you do hope that's the case, because when these wars happen, a lot of innocent lives get swept up in it. And it ultimately sucks for everybody involved. Everybody involved.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody winning here. Nobody winning. I mean, maybe. No, nobody winning.
Nobody winning. Yeah,
nobody's winning here. So, nobody. I don't want to see war happen in my lifetime. No big substantial war on my side of the planet.
Fine. I feel the same. I feel the same exactly.
Yeah.
9/11 was scary enough for me. And we was in the Bahamas, so
Yeah.
But like I don't want to see any war. Which makes me think like, what would another war look like? And I don't even want to really get too much into that.
I want to go back to something you just said.
Yeah.
I personally was not too afflicted by 9/11. But I understand the significance of it, and it was a terrorist attack on the country, definitely. But me, I never thought of it that way. Like I am now in fear, from this, because I'm not like trying to.
Yeah, man. Express yourself.
I'm not trying to sort of downplay anyone who does feel that way, but that thought has never occurred to me. Like, shit, 9/11 really warped the living on the island.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with that. So let me expound a bit. So when 9/11 happened for me, I remember I was in grade 3 or 4, and one of our teachers, I was in a horrible school called Mount Carmel.
Yikes.
Yeah. We had a lot of American teachers. Our specific teacher that was there, she was American, and we had a TV in the classroom, which is pretty interesting. And I remember them being like, her getting a call and being like, "Oh yeah, so planes just hit the towers," and we as kids was like, what planes doing what? That don't even sound right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody was kind of afraid. They kind of like stopped school.
Yeah.
Because that particular school was learning on the ABECA learning system, which is the American learning system. So a lot of people there were American as well. So that kind of shifted things, and then kids were like screaming and like, "Oh, we gotta run from the windows because they might come over here and crash over here," and that was a whole thing.
I do remember people saying that when it was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were in school when that happened.
Yes.
And the school did. I think maybe not all the schools, but most schools on the island did close down when that happened. I do remember that.
And then going home after that, going to try to watch some cartoon, but it was just straight news on every station, just depressing thing. And I guess it was just like maybe a slightly traumatic event. Obviously, they're not coming here to crash on the island, but it's definitely something that was traumatic, and it's like, wow. And then you saw how it went into war from there. So I definitely started watching the news a whole lot more from that point when I was young, and my mom too. I remember watching and seeing them go into Iraq for the first time, and them grainy 320p or whatever resolution photos and stuff, and just a bunch of light in the air and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. But yeah, that was a time. And we watched a video, the video we watched the other day with the bombs going off.
Yeah.
The missiles going off. And I was commenting on it. It's like, bro, we seeing this in 4K now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to be some grainy video,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like less. It's so much less scary, I guess, in a sense.
You think so?
I guess in visuals to me, and I guess based on what I'm about to say, it's because we have the technology. Like a lot of people, I think that a lot of countries are armed and have the technology to do their little proxy. Yeah, let's shoot missiles at each other.
Okay.
Now, some people definitely can't afford to do that. America can afford to waste the money and somewhat of the people to do that.
Yeah.
But seeing it in 4K, for some reason, I guess visually, I just saying, not saying that it actually is, seeing it in 4K is slightly less scary to me than when I saw them go into Iraq with that grainy footage, because it's like, bro, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what could happen.
I am the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the more clear video sort of makes it more realistic, in my opinion. In my opinion, it sort of dawns on me like, oh shit, like this is, we're seeing this in real life, whereas before, 20 years ago, you watching the news, the video technology wasn't there, so you watch.
Yeah.
That's like watching the N64. You know what I'm saying? Like
lone polygons.
Yeah, lone polygons. So it was, and we were children back then too, so that definitely affects how we saw it. But I will say from my experience, like at the time, like watching those things on TV, it didn't affect me as much because it was just like polygons or just blurs being turned into a different color blur or something. Whereas now, like I could watch it. I have a 2K monitor. I could put it in full screen and I could see a wide shot. These niggas shooting in wide now, wide lens. Yeah. I could see a wide lens 4K shot of just like a dance of fire, like an anime dance of fire in the sky, and I could see one missile go and eradicate a building that takes up very little pixels on the screen, but because the quality of that is so realistic and it's much easier for me to visualize that, like, wow, I'm in a building that's sort of kind of that size, like, and that missile did that to that building, like, it,
what could it do to me?
Right, so it just brings it more into realistic looking for me. That's just me, that's just my experience watching these.
I understand. I guess because I'm a visual guy, I kind of always saw it like that.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not more so about the collateral damage, what I was thinking about. I guess because basically, studying those type of things, of course I'm not no professional or anything like that.
Yeah.
But just watching and understanding, like, oh, okay, this type of missile, if they wanted to do actual damage, we wouldn't be seeing this.
Yeah.
We wouldn't see nothing, because they would drop that bomb and that whole radius, the whole area would be nothingness.
Right.
So it'd be like the fact that the war is being fought on the back end. You know what I mean? Oh, snap.
Yeah, the war being fought on the back end.
Yeah, being fought on the back end, whether it be with political aspects or whether it be financial. Where it's like, bro, we about to cut off trade and we about to starve you. That is so much more scarier to me than missiles, not nukes. Just certain missiles, like the little back and forth, pew, firework shit. A nigga saying, not nigga, a country saying, bro, we about to cut your food, we about to cut your water, we about to cut your oil, knowing how much we rely on these things these days, I find that flipping scary. I find that ridiculous. And the fact that a lot of, like, we rely so much on those things. Small example would be us, right? What if the people who we trade with is like, bro, we ain't trading with y'all no more. We have to get it out of the mud. In a crazy way.
We ain't getting nothing out of the mud. We are failing.
But yeah.
That is, I don't know, just to inject a little bit of humor. That's something, it's very similar to something I was thinking about just now. I remember when I was growing up, right? I had, two parents. I'm lucky for that. My mom used to beat me. My old man didn't. So, people used to, and then getting older and thinking back on that, people used to ask me, like, no, we used to talk about it like corporal punishment with the children. Like, and I always used to hear people talk about, but my mom used to beat me this and that. And I used to get beat, like I said, I used to get beaten too, but I used to talk to them like, Beating ain't too bad,
Yeah.
because yeah, it hurts for like a couple minutes, whatever. Cool. It depends on the I guess the
The severity?
the severity of the hitting.
Of the ass whooping?
Yes, but I always told people like, wait, you know what my old man did? He never laid a hand on me, and he never talked to me crazy and nothing like that. But you know what he used to do when I used to get bad grades in school? He used to take away my electronics, baby. And
Yep.
that was the most devastating thing ever, baby. Remember when we used to cut my ass for like 20 minutes? I used to go cry about it for a little bit and go back and go watch TV or play my game.
Yeah, get over it.
But when my old man took away the TV and the game for like the rest of the school year,
Yikes.
listen to me, man. That afflicted me. So why I brought that up is because to bounce off of what you said.
Yeah.
You could strike people with bombs, and this is a more extreme like comparison. But yeah, the bombs and everything. But when you start like hitting people in where it hurts, cutting off food supplies and forcing them to starve, and then they start mutinying because they can't feed their families and can't eat themselves. That's where shit gets serious. That's like the long term, the drawn out.
Yes.
Yeah, we are really willing to destroy you type of battle.
Agreed. And I'm glad you even bounced that point off, because that's how a lot of wars ended in the past.
Yeah.
Because you reach a stalemate. All right, we didn't shoot it out, we didn't bomb it out, and obviously they didn't have the type of technology we have now with the nukes
Right.
and whatnot, or drones. So we got this piece of land, we know this land, but hold on, y'all invading this? Wait, we cutting this trade off?
Yeah.
Guess what? We go wait.
Yeah.
It's snowing? No, y'all sit right there.
Yeah.
We go wait. We cool. And then what does happen?
We're warm. We're fed.
We're fed.
Yeah.
And then people is either attempt to fight, fold, or retreat.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I'm interested to see. And there was a lot happened when Trump got back into office and he started making certain changes. And one of those was those tariffs. And I'm glad that he started to walk some of them back.
Yeah.
Not saying that he should walk all of them back, because I don't know what all taxes and tariffs were put in place that are honored or whatnot.
Yeah.
But how aggressive he was doing it, like I see it's a political move, but at what cost to prove a point? And I feel like that's what Trump is doing in a lot of these instances. Even with this ceasefire, how he went on Twitter and was like, "Congratulations, I did it. I ended the war."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, bro, I see what you're saying, it works on the silly, ignorant people,
Yeah.
because they're gonna look at it. Look what Trump did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but unfortunately, that's just a lot of the bigger media these days. Like,
Yeah.
they just bait, the easy clicks or the easy audience that they know they have to just be like, yeah,
We did it.
we did, yay.
My tax dollars are going to good use. The trillions spent on the military.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting that happened. My last thing before we unless you have something else to say, add before we close it out. What would you how would you think that we would do in some sort of war?
There wouldn't be a war. Yeah, there wouldn't be a war. There wouldn't be a war.
We don't, and I feel like that's kind of crazy that we have the defense force, but like, if somebody just wanted to come and be like, they take us over, there's nothing we could do.
No, not really.
I find that pretty interesting. Something to think about while y'all in the backyard doing therapy.
Yeah.
Y'all let us know what y'all think about it.
Please. Please let us know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, we out here.
Yeah, man.